I'm Gemma Nemenzo. I was born and raised in the Philippines. I grew up in the University of the Philippines campus. I spent most of my life there until I moved to San Leandro, California in 1988 with my 3 kids. My marriage broke up, so I wanted to start life anew here. I wanted to take my kids out of that milieu where everybody was like complete families in the Philippines. So I wanted to move here, and so they would be more at ease. There'd be a lot of other kids of similar circumstance, so I figured it would be less hurting for them. And I wanted to start a new career away from what I used to know. I was a freelance journalist for a while, for a long time actually, and then I was working. My last job was with a children's television show. It's called Batibot. It was one of the more popular children's television shows in the Philippines.
And maybe elaborate a little bit on that. Batibot is related.
Batibot is the Philippine version of Sesame Street. In fact, during the first year, we had as consultants the Children's Television Workshop, the makers of Sesame Street, and they actually built the puppets for us, for Batibot. So it was a very successful children's television show, educational children's television show in Manila.
Can you elaborate on what you said earlier, that you wanted your kids to live here so it's less painful for them to deal with the breakup of the marriage? Why is that? Why would it be easier in the United States?
I surmised that there are a lot more kids here from broken families, and I was right. When they came over, most of their friends were from broken families, or they have new step parents. So it was a lot easier for them. It was they had to focus on adjusting to this new environment as opposed to, wallowing in self-pity if they remain in Manila. At that time there were very few people I know who were single parents in the Philippines. There were a lot of unhappy marriages, but I know that most of them stuck to each other for the sake of the children. And since I refused to do that, I knew that it would be very difficult for my kids to deal with classmates who would be asking where their father is and all that. At the time I left, there were very few people I know who were single parents. I knew a lot of unhappy marriages, but they stuck together for the sake of the kids, and I guess for the sake of social status. In the Philippines, the few single parents I know had to cope with a lot of the social stigma that single parenting brought about, but they also had the advantage of the support system of families. I guess I was projecting the discomfort I felt as a would-be single parent. So I wanted to move here and start, a new life in a milieu where single parenting is a lot more common.